Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Tony Hannity's here from LazyTechGuys.com. This is another episode of LTG Mobile Moments, a beta show. We are going to cover mobile topics, updates, and some pretty cool stuff. I wanted to let you guys know that in the next few weeks, you're going to see a slew of a bunch of reviews from a company called Tilt. Now, Tilt makes a couple of accessories for mobile devices, and with the rising tide of wireless charging units and wireless charging phones like the Samsung Galaxy S6, the Nexus 6, and there's a lot of sixes in there. They're definitely taking advantage of that. So I had the chance to speak with them, and they were kind enough to send me a box, a pretty big box, filled with some wireless charging units. So as you can see here, this is the Tilt View Solo. It is a universal wireless charger pad. They all run Qi wireless. So as you can see at the bottom right-hand corner says made for Qi smartphones. So if you're running something that has a PMA, like Power Mat Association or affiliation or whatever the A stands for, that's not going to work with this, but the Galaxy S6 does, and the Galaxy Note, the Galaxy, well, the Note 4 would too, but then also the Galaxy S5 and also the Nexus 6 and a few others as well too. Also, they sent me this. This is pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure how much it costs up front, but this is made specifically for the Galaxy S5 that allows you to make your phone wireless charging compatible without having to purchase the $50 wireless charging back. Now, this is a little late in regards to reviewing, but there's a benefit to this because the wireless charging back does actually add some girth to your existing Galaxy S5. So if you want to keep it as slim as possible, this little nugget just goes in your existing phone with the existing back and adheres to the battery, and then those little clips just touch to the I guess those little sensors. There's a special name for them, but I can't for the life of me remember what they call it. But then it just makes your Galaxy S5 wirelessly charging compatible. So I tested it with my wife's and it works fine, and we're going to do a more in-depth review with that. And then finally, they sent me the Tilt View. Now, the Tilt View is a wireless charging car mount that, again, supports Qi wireless charging phones, and it's a suction cup. So it can either suction to your dash if you have a large enough flat dash, or, of course, the inside of the windshield. So I'm going to be reviewing that for the next couple of weeks with my Nexus 6, and I'll let you guys know how that all pans out. Very excited for that. I also picked up myself a brand new Wi-Fi router for the home. So for those of you who don't know, in the abode that I'm in currently, it's quite big to the point where the existing wireless router that I was using, courtesy of Comcast, incidentally was only an N900. And with all these new devices, like supporting AC, I figured, why the hell not just go ahead and upgrade, spend a little bit more to get a lot out of it. And so I got the Nighthawk by Netgear. Now, this is the first iteration of the Nighthawk. I know there's like at least two more, and they cost almost $100 or $200 more subsequently. I'm not a big gamer, as you may or may not know, so I didn't necessarily need the mega streaming capability, but I just set it up, and I know there's a little configuration things that I want to improve. But case in point, to let you know how much better the Nighthawk was over like a wireless N. So if you're in the same predicament that I'm in, that you're renting the Wi-Fi router from Comcast, or if you have an older Wi-Fi router, N was really good back in the day, but now it's all about AC. And where I was at in my office here, to the wireless router with the Comcast router, I was getting I would say maybe 20 down and like 5 up on my mobile device. And now with the new AC router, even with the antennas pointed up, I should point the antennas down because it's nice that you have that ability to turn them around. Even with the antennas being pointed up, I'm getting like on a good day, I guess, about 100 some down and like 23 up. And that was on my Nexus 6. You know what? Let me just double check because I don't want to speak out of turn. So I just go to speed test from Ookla. I don't know, some of you have some other preferred services, but I'm just using the app. And so results. Okay, yeah. So I did 2 tests sitting here, and one was 127 megabytes down and 12 up. Okay, so not 20 up, but still, that's a huge improvement over my previous Wi-Fi router. So it does pay to play. I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and get started with the news. Let's see. Do you want to work in 9 holes on Saturday? My dad wants to play some golf on Sunday. What do you guys think? Should I play golf? I haven't played in years, and now I feel bad because we might not even go up to where he lives anymore. Oh well. Sorry, personal stuff. Also, personally, I do want to apologize for my tire. I just got back from the gym, and I just want to get right into this. So don't mind the sleeveless unless you like the gun. Okay, let me go ahead and get the articles up here. So first and foremost, Google's mobile search results on Android now will prompt users to install apps relative to the content that the user is looking for. So in the event that you're using Google Now or the Google search on your Android device and you're looking up how to make good rotisserie or how to crochet a nice hat or something to that effect, Google is going to allow developers to input their code, because Google has about, I think according to the TechCrunch article, 30 billion deep links in which Google can scrub through their database of related applications. And so if you're looking up a recipe on Google, it would recommend for you to download a recipe app. And I'm not sure how Google would determine which recipe app to choose from, but it would recommend that you download a recipe app. Once you install it and you open it up, it will automatically go to the recipe that you're looking for. So if you're looking for spaghetti and meatballs, you could download Epicurious. Is that an app? I don't even know. And it would open up the app, and then you can go right to making some delicious spaghetti and meatballs. According to TechCrunch, so according to TechCrunch, Google is going to possibly open up this program to developers later on. But right now, Google is doing the curating of which apps that they want to partake in this particular part of the program. It's a cool idea. It's a really nice new way to kind of do some app discovery. Because if you've ever played in the Google Play Store, you can't really be specific with the apps, or rather be specific with the functionality of the apps that you're searching for. So if you're looking for an app for Instagram, for example, that does like a mirror image of your photos, I know a few offhand, but if you didn't know the names of them and you typed in, I want to mirror my image, or I want to double my photos for Instagram, it wouldn't know what you're looking for. Although if you did that exact same search in Google, it might find some pretty good links and pretty good applications for you to download on Google Play, but just not in the Play Store right now. And this kind of takes more steps closer to that. So it's very exciting that this is happening, and it's going to be slow moving pace, but I do know that this is just going to make the Google Play experience a little bit better as time moves on. And if not that, just Google Now. Just going to make the Google Now experience very cool. Now, the problem is, I guess you could turn it off, because the problem is, it's like I said, it's at this point, it's really Google doing the curating of finding the app that is related to the query that you're looking up. And, Google's not perfect. We know this. Sometimes they'll recommend an app that has nothing to do with what you're looking for. In fact, in the TechCrunch article, they have screenshots of someone saying, "Give me instructions on how to make the perfect cup of tea." And apparently, in an article of Daily Mail, which is a UK newspaper, there is an article that tells you how to make a perfect cup of tea. And it says that, oh, you can go directly to the article, or hey, why don't you install the Daily Mail online app, and then you would be able to view it through the app. So that may or may not be a good, experience for the customer because they have to wait to download it. And although it does go directly to the article within the app, it would obviously be, in this example, a lot quicker and easier just to go to the website itself. But it also allows developers of websites, because if Lazy Tech Guys were to ever have an application, it would allow developers to take advantage of that and say, hey, mobile apps are becoming well, we know this, mobile apps versus the mobile web are becoming king. Like, if you don't have an app and you are a very big company, people are going to expect you to have an app, even if it's almost an exact mirror of whatever you have on your website. They want to see an app. They want to be able to get your information from the app. So I use Mobile Nations, for example. They have an app for Android Central. I have that on my phone. I could just as easily go to androidcentral.com, or I could just as easily use my my Feedly or my Pulse app to view that feed. But it's just nice to have that within an app, because then you can also interact with the other comments and things like that. So there's definitely pros and cons to this. So we'll see how this rolls out as time moves on. Now, one thing that was rumored earlier this year was that Cyanogen Inc. was trying to raise money, and they were looking for outside investors. And one of the investors that they were trying to tout, rumored, was Microsoft. And a lot of us were thinking, well, this is kind of strange. Why would Microsoft want to stick their foot in the Android waters? Well, they already have. In fact, we already seen this with the Samsung Galaxy S6 launch, and a few of their tablet launches in the future will come preloaded with Microsoft apps, not on Verizon or AT&T for that matter. But in any event, this is something that Microsoft is trying to be everywhere. They want people to play in their sandbox right out of the get-go. And now it looks as though Microsoft is, in fact, going to work with Cyanogen. According to an article, rather an email sent to The Verge, Cyanogen said that they are partnering with Microsoft to integrate the software giant's consumer apps and services into Cyanogen OS. Bing, Skype, OneDrive, OneNote, Outlook, and Microsoft Office will be bundled later on this year. They didn't say if this was going to be like a paid kind of partnership, or if this was just, hey, you shake my hand or you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And I was listening to another show earlier today, and this is great for emerging markets. Emerging markets have very low end phones, and Cyanogen is trying to get into those areas, like in China and in India, because they're the official operating system, or rather the official overlay operating system for Micromax phones. And India, well, I mean, Microsoft has a large base of employees and users in India, and if a new user of an Android phone got a Cyanogen operating system and they saw Microsoft apps right away, to that effect, they would feel right at home. Like, oh, I already use Skype. Now I don't have to download it. Oh, I already use Microsoft Office. Now I don't have to download it. How does this help people that are in the Google ecosystem? It doesn't. In my opinion, it really doesn't. I mean, you are going to use what works best for you. And sometimes using both Google Docs and Microsoft Office might work fine. But the fact of the matter is, having Microsoft put their apps, their key components everywhere they can, right from the factory floor to your grubby little hands, is a very good idea. It is unfortunate when the carriers do get involved. They can step in and say, we actually don't want these apps to be on our phone. I don't know if this is really anything tied to it, but when I used to work for Verizon Wireless a couple of years ago, I remember specifically with the Samsung Fantastico. I forget what it was. It was I don't even know if it was a Galaxy. It was before the Samsung Charge. Anyways, the default search engine on a lot of the phones was Bing. And I think that was a Verizon move versus a Samsung move, which at the time makes sense, because I do remember there being that when you did a mobile web search, mobile web 2.0 search using the Verizon was it GRU, GRU web interface, it said powered by Bing. So they stopped doing that, and I don't know if there's some friction between Microsoft and Verizon, which is why they removed the Samsung apps from the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge, but that might have something to do with it. But I'm excited to see the Microsoft, move out in the world, and yeah, I know there are some hardcore Microsoft fans that don't want to see this. They want to see Microsoft apps only on Microsoft products to make it valid and to make their purchasing decisions and their future use of Microsoft products um, more in line with what they grew up with, which was Microsoft is going to be somewhat of a closed garden, even though they have some open source stuff, but they're going to be somewhat of a closed garden, and all the best stuff is going to be on Microsoft. Now that's not so much the case. iOS has a ton of Microsoft apps. Office Lens just got on iOS. Delve just got on iOS. It's coming to Android. And it's just crazy that Microsoft is kind of done a complete 180. And from a consumer standpoint, it's a very good thing. From a business standpoint, it could be a very good thing, depending if the customers actually do start using it. Customers might see the Microsoft app, and because on the Samsung Galaxy S6, the Microsoft apps are in a Microsoft folder. And some people might say, oh, that's great, I know what's in there because it's made by Microsoft. Some other people might be put off because Microsoft still has a negative tinge to a lot of people's minds with Windows 8 and whatnot. So I think if they were to maybe call it like productivity or video chat, it might be a little bit better as folder names. But in any event, you can still download, even if you bought the Galaxy S6 from Verizon, you could still separately download Skype and all this other stuff. But the majority of people might not. And that's why having the apps right out of the gate, although some people might also call it bloatware, it's a good idea for Microsoft. And, we'll see how things turn out for them in the future. Now, one thing that we were promised from Microsoft to launch back in December was the next step of the third-person view Halo game on Xbox and other mobile platforms. And I believe starting today, Halo spins off their first their first Halo app to iOS called Spartan Strike. Now, I've played Spartan Assault on my Surface and Surface Pro 3 and the Xbox. And yeah, it's not Halo. It has Halo functionality, the same weapons to a certain degree. You have the same, the Covenant, and there's like Master Chief looking guys out down there. And it's like a top down view kind of. It's not third person. You're not behind his shoulder or anything like that. You see everything. You see the whole gameplay, and that's what they've done again with Spartan Strike. And Spartan Strike is available in the Apple App Store for $5.99, or you can buy both Spartan Strike and Spartan Assault bundled for $9.99. And unfortunately, it's been delayed for Windows and Windows Phone, even iPad. Or I guess iOS is iPhone and iPad. So sorry, but for Windows, it's actually been delayed, it seems. So, and no word if it's ever going to make it to Android or Kindle, but you would think they would do that eventually. So I'm excited for this. It's going to definitely take advantage of some of the better graphics that we have with these more higher end computing devices and things like that. And when Windows 10 comes out with DirectX 12, they might upgrade this for DirectX 12 and make it look that much better. So good on you, Microsoft. Now moving over to Apple. They have announced today that CarPlay will be available in 5 new countries. Earlier this month, CarPlay made it to Brazil, China, India, Thailand, and Turkey. And although CarPlay maps aren't available in those countries, CarPlay does support Apple Maps, so you could use that instead. I guess they're 2 different maps. I'm not quite sure how that works. So CarPlay is now available in Denmark, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Russia, and Sweden. So we haven't seen a lot of, automotive manufacturers integrate CarPlay or Android Auto on a large scale, but we're seeing it little by little, bit by bit. I believe it was Pioneer who released their first iteration of these third-party aftermarket head units that come with the ability to do either or CarPlay or Android Auto. One thing I want to point out, if you want to buy one of these head units, they start off at $799, which in that realm isn't that expensive. If you're looking for a touchscreen head unit, you're going to be looking at about $799. So just expect to pay that much. To use either Android Auto or CarPlay, the USB ports, there are two USB ports. One is specifically for Android Auto and another one is specifically for CarPlay, and they're in the back of the head unit. So if you tell the installer that you only want CarPlay, and then later on your wife or whoever gets Android Auto and they want to they get an Android phone, they want to use Android Auto, we have to go back to Best Buy or whoever and have them remove the head unit and plug in another USB for Android Auto. So I would say, just to play it safe, plug in both Android Auto and CarPlay. The only downside to doing that is that if the rumors are true and Android devices in the future are going to run USB-C and the iPhone 6 is going to run USB-C, or iPhone 7 or 6S will run USB-C, you'll have to remove it and do it all over again. I don't know, either way, but I'm just trying to think ahead. That's just me. But this is good. This is cool. This is going to get CarPlay in more hands and in more cars. And although this is like Gen 1 of this, so there's going to be bugs, there's going to be problems, just like there is on Android Auto. But the only way to move forward is to get it into more cars and get more people, more eyeballs to experience it, so they can know what they have to do to make it better. Again, with Android, or rather with Google and Apple, Chrome for iOS has now added one passport and LastPass extension, a new widget with voice search, and a little bit more. So I have yet to see Chrome on iOS. It's been a while since I played with an iOS device, but if you install Chrome, you have the ability to turn on a widget in your notification shade. So when you're looking at your today, what do they call it? Your today section, there'll be a little section called Chrome, and underneath there will be a button that says New Tab or Voice Search. So right from your Today section, you can do a Google voice search for how to make the best pasta in the world. And then you could just click on New Tab and it will open up the Chrome browser within iOS for you to search the internet. But something that is really important to me, because I use LastPass. So if I were to have an iOS device, using LastPass in the Chrome browser and having that extension work is key, because I can't tell you how much, before I got LastPass Premium, I had to copy and paste the passwords over and over again. And it was just, let me just pay the $12 a year and I'll just be done with it. And now this will extend to that. And I'm sure it's the same thing with 1Password. They said there was something more. Oh yeah. So there's also a new sharing functionality. Well, rather, it's not new, it's just different. If you look at how you share items in iOS, you've got the two little dots, and whatever the iOS sharing icon looks like, that icon is not prevalent in the new Chrome 42 for iOS. You actually have to click the three ellipses, and then you'll have the menu, and then within the menu that drops down, there'll be a sharing option, and then you can share to the respective applications like Facebook, text messaging, email, things like that, whatever other applications allow to share a web page. So yeah, so if you want Chrome on your iOS device, or if you use Chrome, go ahead and do the free upgrade and you can take advantage of all of this. Now, I know this will come to you as a bit of a surprise, but I did want to mention BlackBerry. BlackBerry Passport, as we know, is now available in the United States, and it's not doing like tremendously well, but for the people that do have it, seem to be fairly happy with it. There has been a leaked photo or image. I guess this is a rendering of the BlackBerry Oslo. So if you are watching live right now, or if you're watching after the fact, here is BlackBerry Oslo. Pretty cool, huh? Kind of looks like the Passport. So how is this different? Well, this will be effectively available for the Chinese market. So right now, in China, if they want to have secure BlackBerry enterprises, back end and all that kind of stuff. They couldn't use a passport, but now it seems that the BlackBerry Oslo will be headed to those regions in the next month or so. So it's potentially going to arrive in the end of June. And like I said, the specs are very similar to the passport. You have a 340, it's a 3450 milliamp battery, has BlackBerry 10.3.2. And although it does look similar to the 9788, it's just a little bit upgrade from that, which was, kind of rumored a while ago. So good on your BlackBerry. Last but not least, Amazon is offering $105 worth of free apps and games. How many of you out there use an Amazon device? Amazon Kindle Fire, any of that? Show of hands. Even if you don't, I would recommend logging into your Amazon account and then just clicking on these apps and just getting them for free. That's actually what I used to do before, when Amazon offered a free app of the day, which I still think that they do. Even though I didn't have the Amazon App Store on my phone, I would go to the free app of the day from my browser and then just click it to buy it. So if later on I wanted to use it, I could download it on my device, my Android tablet or my Android phone or what have you. Or if I bought a Kindle Fire, I could download it there, and I wouldn't have to pay for it any extra because I already bought it. And so for $105 for free, I would just go ahead and grab a few of these. So for example, you get a better camera unlock for free, Adventure Time Game Wizard, Chess and Mate Premium, F-18 Carrier Landing 2 Pro. I highly recommend that game. I played that for a long time. If you need something more for business, there's the Mobile Doc Scanner, or MD Scan, Lecture Notes, Media Earth, and even an Oxford Spanish Dictionary. Now, these normally would cost you from 99 cents all the way up to, God knows, I don't know, $5 some. So just to take advantage of it to get free is pretty cool. Now, if you've never tried to install the Amazon App Store on a non-Amazon Android device or a BlackBerry device, it's not very simple. I'm not exactly sure how to do it from BlackBerry. It might already be there, but at least on a Google Play Store Android device, what you're going to have to do is download the Amazon app. And through the Amazon app, you have to download the Amazon App Store. Once you do that, it's going to say, well, to download the Amazon App Store, you have to allow for non-secure or not Google Play devices. I forget exactly what the terminology is, but you have to allow for non-Google Play applications. And then you can download all the apps. Here's what I would recommend for you. If you want to start using the Amazon App Store, which make your decision if you like it or not, download the Amazon App Store, download the games and everything, and then uncheck, or rather recheck the box that says that you don't want to allow third-party apps to be downloaded that are not from the Google Play Store. The apps from Amazon will continue to work, but if there are some malware of other apps that you come through that aren't in the Google Play Store, they won't affect you whatsoever. So that would just be my recommendation. The only downside to that is you can't update those apps that you bought from the Amazon App Store if you have that button, that button checked. But I know it sounds a little bit much just to get free apps, but hey, if you get an Amazon Kindle for like $100 for your kid, it's not too bad. That's actually, anecdotally, it's kind of funny because when they offered the free apps, for a long time, the free apps every day would be like games for toddlers. And with my wife and I at the time, we had, we have my son who at the time was like maybe 7 or something. So it was like, well, he's not a toddler, even when he was 6, like, well, he doesn't really need these counting games. He knows how to count. He knows his colors and everything, but I might have a child. So I'll just go ahead and download it. Unbeknownst to me, I get into a baby girl. So she isn't using these apps yet, but if I were to buy that Amazon Kindle that was made for kids with the rubberized edge and everything for $200 or whatever, perfect. I'm done. I pretty much bought all the apps that are catered for her for free, and I won't have to spend any money in there, at least for the time being. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much it right now. Like I said, we're going to be doing a bunch of reviews for the Tilt wireless charger. So just so you guys know, this is what I've been using right now. This is the Tilt wireless charger. Ooh, it's hot. So it just plugs in USB. You can plug it into the wall, and it has a T charger here. It has these adhesives on the back, so you can adhere it to your desk if you don't want it moving around. I'd rather personally not do that because I move my crap around all the time. And just to make sure that it is charging, there's this little light down here at the bottom that will go green. So that's kind of handy because there's no other way when you plug in your phone to know if it's being charged or not, unless you turn on the screen. And there you go. All right. Also, we do have a giveaway going on right now. So if you are a Nexus 6 owner, or you're planning to buy a Nexus 6, or you are friends with a Nexus 6 owner, but they don't have a case yet, we have this UAG Maverick case for the Nexus 6. It's about $40 value. It's on my phone right now. It's a really good case. It does cover the Nexus logo, which I'm not a big fan of, but I did do a drop test, so it's pretty resilient. Oops. I do have the one quandary that when I did the drop test, my screen protector, which is tempered glass, it started breaking on the side here. But I don't know if I didn't have the screen protector, if it wouldn't have broken the actual screen or not. There's really no way for me to say if it did or didn't. But all my other experiences with it have been very good, because I tried going without a case for a couple of days and I couldn't even make it 12 hours. Like, I was out to dinner on my birthday and I was just playing with my phone, and I brought my phone up under the table, hit the underside of the table, and it fell out, and I got a few scuff marks on the back. The phone is fine, but I was like, I'm going back to a case. I can't be like one of you cool guys that don't have cases. I need a case. So I don't care. Say what you will, but yeah, so we're giving that away. Haven't really determined exactly how we're doing it, but you know what I'm going to do? Hit me up, LTG Tony, or at lazytechguys.com on Twitter, at LTG Tony, which is right here, LTG Tony, or at lazytechguys.com. And just as long as you're in the United States, you have to be in the United States. Just say you want it. Boom, that's it. Say you want it. I don't care. I'm just being generous and being nice. All right. So that's it for now. We're going to continue doing the mobile mode. We might have an LTG show on Tuesday next time, but right now I'm going to watch the live stream of the Star Wars Celebration again, because I thought it was freaking awesome when BB-8 came on stage, because that's freaking crazy. It's a real droid. I thought it was CGI, but it's a real thing with a thing, and he's rolling. It's a sphere and things that it's awesome. I'm just Disney, because that new droid was actually made by that was Disney. That wasn't necessarily LucasArts. That was more so on the Disney side with another company that's by Iger, who is like the chairman of Disney. So cool. I'm really, really excited. I just went bat crap crazy in my car when I was watching the trailer. So that's it for me right now. If you, like I said, if you want to hit me up, LTG Tony, let me know. Otherwise, I'm here on Google Plus Tony Hannity's, and you guys are awesome. And I am going to watch that and some Daredevil. Have a good one. Peace.